Right, the first video in the algebra section is going to look at collecting like terms and substitution. These two topics are particularly popular in foundation tier, so they're definitely worth learning. Collecting like terms, we'll start with one easy one. 5b plus 3b take away b. Now, you don't want to get too worried about what b means. Just take b as a particular object you can think of. So I'm going to take it as, I don't know, bananas. 5 bananas plus 3 bananas is 8 bananas. Take away 1 banana is 7 bananas. So my answer is going to be 7b. With collecting like terms, you are not expecting to get a single digit or double digit answer. You're never going to get 8 or 27 or something like that. It will always be normally a number and a letter next to it. Next one then, 3a plus 2q plus 4a plus q. Now, these are more like the ones that come up now because they've got two variables. By variables, I mean they've got two things with different letters. We've got a's and we've got q's. Now, you cannot combine things with different letters. So I can't just say 3a plus 2q is, I don't know, 5aq. That doesn't work. You can't combine them. So what we're going to do, we're going to separate the letters into their own little sections. So we're going to put boxes around the a's. Notice how, with the 4a, I've put a box around the sign to the left as well. That's very important. You always include the sign to the left. Now I'm going to put circles round my q's. So this changes it. We're going to combine the a's and then we're going to combine the q's. So we got 3a plus 4a. 3 apples plus 4 apples is 7 apples. And then 2q plus q is going to be 3q. So 7a plus 3q. That's as far as you can go with regards to simplifying that, because now these two things have got different letters, so you can't combine them. Next one. 2m plus 3s plus m take away 5s. Slightly harder. Again, we'll do the same thing. We're going to put a box around the m's and then a circle around the s's. Right, 2m plus m, I don't know, 2 melons plus 1 melon is 3 melons. Now be careful with this one. 3s take away 5s. This is why you include the sign to the left, because it tells you what you're going to do to the two numbers. So far we've been adding, but in this one we've got 3s take away 5s. Now 3 take away 5 is minus 2, so we're going to have minus 2s. 3m minus 2s, and that's the final answer. So with regards to this, the important point is include the sign to the left. That's like your command that tells you what you're going to do to the two different variables, really. Right, substitution then. This now you are expecting to get a certain answer, so you are going to get a number on its own. 3x plus 5y when x equals 4 and y equals 2. So they've given you this little statement and they've told you what the letters stand for in terms of numbers. Now the important thing with this is you don't just put 4 in place of the x and 2 in place of the y. So it's not 34 plus 52. When a number and a letter are joined, it means you multiply. You have to remember that. Number and a letter joined, it means you multiply. So 3x means 3 times x. When x is 4, that's 3 times 4, plus 5y means 5 times y, and y is 2, so 5 times 2. Now, you sort that out. You don't do 4 plus 5 because of bid mass. You multiply before you add. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 5 times 2 is 10. 12 add 10 is 22, so and I've written bid mass next to it. You have to make sure you do that. Multiply before you add. If you want, you can put a set of brackets around the 3 and the 4 and the 5 and the 2 if it helps. Next one then, 4s plus 7t when s equals minus 3 and t equals 2. Slightly harder this time because you've got a negative involved, but the same principle. 4s, 4 times s. S, what is it? It's minus 3, so 4 times minus 3. Just to the left now of that 4, I've put a little plus sign, okay? That's because we got a minus involved, so the signs may change here. So I'm just writing the little plus so that it reminds me that that 4 is a positive number. Plus 7t when t is 2, 7 times 2. 4 times minus 3. Now what I'm going to do here, we are going to get a clash with the sign. So I'm going to do 4 times 3 first of all, get that out of the way, is 12. Now a positive, which is that 4, times a negative, and you have to remember this, positive and negative is a negative. So minus 12, did the 4 and the 3 first of all, and 7 times 2 is 14, so plus 14, minus 12 plus 14, be careful here which way you go. Start at minus 12, you add, so you move to the right on the number line, it becomes 2. And I've written next to that sign rules because it's important you know what a plus times a minus is and a minus times a minus if that comes up. Last one then, 5x minus 3y, same thing again. 5x, 5 times 4, it's 20. Take away 3y, so 3 times minus 4. So we got something that looks like that. 5 times 4, as I've said already, we're going to do 20. 3 times 4 is 12, so I'm going to write that in. Minus, because it's minus 3, times another minus is a plus. So 20 plus 12, which equals 32. So the key with substitution, you remember that number and a letter join means you times, and you be careful of the signs when you're multiplying them together.